If a woman hugs you, it means this. When a woman hugs you, there's a lot more happening than you think. Most guys brush it off. A quick moment, a polite gesture, maybe just something women do when they're being friendly. But here's the thing. That hug? It's rarely just a hug. What most men completely miss is that when a woman wraps her arms around you, especially one you're not dating yet, her body is often saying things she's not ready to put into words. And if you know how to read those signals, you'll start noticing what's really going on beneath the surface. In this video, we're going to break down 12 surprisingly revealing psychology-backed meanings behind a woman's hug, and chances are you've missed at least 10 of them. 1. Her hug rhythm syncs with yours, and that's not random. Imagine you're hugging her and you both go quiet, even if just for a moment. You're close enough to feel her breathing, maybe even the subtle beat of her chest rising and falling. What most guys don't realize is that if her breathing starts to match yours, that's not just coincidence. That's called limbic resonance, a nonverbal biological phenomenon where two people emotionally attuned to each other will automatically sync their physiological states. This is powerful. It means her body is subconsciously saying, I want to connect with you, not just physically, emotionally. Even more interesting, it's often unconscious. She's not trying to do it. Her nervous system is picking up on your calm or warmth and naturally falling into alignment. Now, why does this matter? Because if she hugs you, and that moment settles into stillness where both of you feel just a little quieter, a little more grounded, that's not just comfort, that's compatibility. This kind of synchrony doesn't happen during a casual, polite hug with a coworker. It doesn't happen when she hugs a relative. It happens when there's a unique chemistry forming, one her body recognizes even if her mind hasn't caught up yet. And if you're intuitive enough to slow down, stay present, and feel that alignment, you just moved from maybe territory into he gets me territory in her mind, without saying a word. 2. She's not just hugging, she's scanning your reaction to it. Let's say you've just had a great conversation. The vibe was good, playful, a little flirty. You're about to part ways when she steps in and gives you a soft, casual hug. Nothing dramatic, no lingering moment, just a hug, but one that she initiated when she didn't really have to. This is what I call a passive emotional probe. And if you're not paying attention, you'll think it was nothing. But here's what's actually happening. She's observing. Not just how you hug her back, but how you hold space in that moment. Do you feel awkward? Do you lean into it? Do you hug her like a guy hugs his gym buddy? Or like someone who knows how to match intimacy with presence? Women have insanely sharp emotional radar. When she initiates a hug like this, it's often a subtle test. Not in a manipulative way, but in the same way a musician plays a few notes before deciding if the piano is in tune. It's not about the hug. It's about your energy during it. And here's the deeper layer. If she hugs you during a low-energy moment, like after a quiet pause, or when you're both feeling mellow, she's testing how emotionally safe you feel to her. She's reading how you handle small forms of intimacy. Most guys fail this test not because they do something wrong, but because they don't even realize it's happening. 3. Shoulder language is the emotional tell most guys overlook. Here's a weird truth. The shoulders are often more honest than the hands. You're probably used to hearing about where her hands go when she hugs you. Around your neck, your waist, one arm hug, both arms. But that's all basic analysis. What really tells the story is her shoulders. If she angles her shoulders inward during the hug, even slightly, she's offering emotional softness. That slight forward roll actually exposes the front of her torso, which is biologically one of our most vulnerable zones. This is her body saying, I feel safe letting you closer. Now flip that. If her shoulders stay tight or roll away slightly, even if her arms are around you, that's a sign of restraint. Not necessarily rejection, but emotional reservation. And here's the secret nuance. A woman who's still figuring out how much to trust you will often have conflicting cues. A tight shoulder roll with a warm tone of voice. A soft hug with a quick exit. Your job isn't to decode her like a game. It's to be aware that these moments are rarely neutral. Every hug is a snapshot of her emotional openness, and the shoulders are the caption. Before we keep going, if you've ever caught yourself rethinking the way you show up around women, type reflect in the comments. Self-awareness is power. 4. If she goes silent after the hug, don't rush to fill the space. You've just hugged. There's a moment, brief but noticeable, where she pulls back and doesn't say anything. Maybe she smiles. Maybe she just looks at you. Or maybe she suddenly starts fiddling with her phone, or talking about something random. To the average guy, this looks like nothing. But to someone who understands human psychology, it's a blaring signal. That quiet moment isn't about awkwardness. It's her nervous system catching up with the emotional hit of that physical closeness, especially if the hug felt better than she expected. See, for many women, physical touch with someone they're attracted to isn't just a pleasant moment. It's disruptive. It creates a crack in the armor, a shift in their inner emotional temperature. And when that happens, silence is the brain's way of trying to stabilize. She's asking herself, why did that feel so intense? Do I like him more than I thought? Did he feel it too? And what do most guys do in this exact moment? They talk over it. They crack a joke. They pivot. They try to lighten the mood, which is the exact opposite of what builds connection. Here's the real move. Say nothing. Just hold the space with calm, grounded energy. Let her feel what she's feeling without pressure, because in that space, you become rare, and being rare is unforgettable. 5. If she adjusts her clothing after, you triggered image consciousness. You hug her. It's nice, maybe even a little electric. Then, boom, she immediately fixes her shirt, adjusts her jacket, runs her fingers through her hair. Let me be clear, this is not a coincidence. It's called post-effective regulation, and it happens when someone becomes suddenly more aware of how they're being perceived, right after an emotionally intimate moment. This isn't vanity, it's psychology. What it means is that your presence matters enough to trigger self-consciousness, the good kind. The kind that says, did I look okay just now? Did he notice how close I let him get? I hope I came across the way I meant to. And the wildest part? Most women won't even realize they're doing it. It's muscle memory, reflex instinct. So the next time a woman hugs you and immediately does a mini outfit tune-up, don't overlook it. It's not about the fabric, it's about your effect on her. 6. She uses a hug to pause the moment, not just end it. There are certain moments where a hug isn't about hello or goodbye. It's about holding the energy still, especially when things are getting a little emotionally complex. Let's say you've been flirting. There's some tension, the good kind. She leans in and hugs you, not with excitement or enthusiasm, but with deliberate calm. Maybe her eyes close. Maybe she exhales. That's a self-soothing gesture, but it's also a pause button. She's telling herself, I'm feeling something here, and I don't want to ruin it with words. She's anchoring the connection, using touch to bookmark the moment instead of pushing it forward. And most guys, they get antsy. They crack a line. They try to escalate. But the smart ones, they match that pause with presence. They let the moment breathe. This kind of hug is rare. It's not flirty, it's felt. And when a woman gives it to you, it means she's already placing you somewhere much deeper in her emotional world than you probably realize. 7. Her arm placement is a silent confession about who she wants to lead. Most guys focus on how long the hug lasts or whether it was tight or loose. That's entry-level stuff. Want to really understand what she's saying with her body? Watch where her arms go. If she wraps her arms around your waist or goes under your arms and allows you to embrace her from above, that's her yielding emotionally. It's nonverbal for, I trust you to lead this moment. She's giving you the dominant frame, and not because she's weak or submissive, but because she wants to relax her guard in your presence. That's a form of surrender that's almost never verbalized. But if she puts her arms over your shoulders and subtly pulls you in, especially if her hands rest on the back of your neck, that's a whole different signal. That's her expressing ownership of the moment. She's the one saying, I want this, and I'm not afraid to show it. There's no better version here. Both are valuable. One expresses trust. The other expresses desire. The key is knowing which one you're being given and responding accordingly. Because when her body language speaks that clearly, your energy needs to speak fluently in return. 8. The double pat is a disguise for emotional vulnerability. You've likely experienced it. She hugs you and then lightly pats you on the back. 1, 2, like she's burping a baby. To most guys, this feels like a polite friend zone move, a kind of subconscious push away. And sure, sometimes that's all it is. But more often than not, it's emotional masking. That quick double pat is her brain's way of lightening a moment that just got a little too emotionally heavy. It's the nervous system whispering, abort vulnerability. Make it casual. You need to look at what came before the pat. Did the hug linger? Did she hold you a second too long? Did she exhale when you touched her? That double pat might not be pushing you away. It might be pulling herself back in before she reveals too much. Think of it like when someone laughs right after they say something painfully honest. The humor isn't random, it's armor. So don't always take the pat at face value. Sometimes it's the emotional equivalent of slamming the laptop shut because the feelings are too real. 9. If she hugs you mid-conversation, she's collapsing emotional boundaries. Let's paint the scene. You're talking about something totally unrelated. Your dog, a childhood memory, some dumb mistake you made at work, and in the middle of it, she reaches out and hugs you. No fanfare, no pretext, just pure emotion. What most guys miss in this moment is just how rare this behavior is. When a woman hugs you in the middle of a story, or while you're laughing, or even while you're sharing something vulnerable, she's doing something profound. She's blending emotional spaces. She's saying, I'm not compartmentalizing you anymore. You're not just a friend or someone I'm flirting with. You're someone she feels safe anchoring her emotions to. This is especially true if she keeps talking while hugging you. It means she doesn't need to separate affection from conversation. You're now part of her emotional continuity, part of the story and the comfort. Most guys treat this as random cuteness, but it's much more. It's how connection begins to root deeper, not through grand romantic moments, but through the quiet collapse of boundaries. 10. She initiates the hug after the peak moment, not during it, to prolong emotional closeness. You just made her laugh. Hard. You nailed a moment of connection, eye contact, shared sarcasm, a memory that made her light up. Then, a few moments after that peak, she hugs you. Not right away. Not in the heat of it. After. This timing is deliberate, whether she knows it or not. When a woman hugs you after an emotional high point, she's not reacting to it. She's trying to sustain it. Think of it like a singer holding a final note to let the vibration carry a little longer. That hug isn't just affection. It's emotional preservation. She doesn't want the moment to fade. She's trying to freeze frame it, and you're the anchor she's using to do it. Here's what most men get wrong. They think the hug was late, or delayed, or just something she threw in. But in truth, her body was waiting to make sure the moment was safe enough to be captured physically. So if she hugs you in that soft silence that follows a shared high, that's not her stepping back. It's her stepping in, deeper than you realize. 11. If she hugs you when no one's looking, it's personal. If she hugs you when they are, it's declaration. There's a different weight to a hug depending on who else is around. If she initiates a hug in private, you're seeing one kind of message: intimacy, warmth, safety. But if she hugs you in public, in a group, around friends, maybe even in front of someone she used to be involved with, that's not just affection, that's placement. That hug becomes a social declaration. This is where I feel comfortable. This is who I choose to show connection with. It doesn't matter if the hug is brief. The context adds weight. Even more revealing, if she seems to go out of her way to hug you when eyes are on her, walking across a room, touching your arm as she pulls you in, she's sending a message loud and clear, without saying a word. This is who I'm drawn to, and I don't mind people knowing. Now, this doesn't mean she's claiming you, but it does mean she's not hiding you. In a world where so many people fear emotional exposure, that's a sign of confidence and connection that most guys totally overlook. 12. The hug is a future echo. It tells you how she imagines closeness with you might feel long-term. Here's the quiet truth nobody talks about. A hug isn't just about now, it's often a preview, even to her, of what emotional closeness might feel like if she let herself go there. If a woman hugs you and gets unexpectedly still, if she lets her breath soften, if she holds you like she's trying to learn something from your energy, that hug might not be about comfort or flirting or politeness. It might be her way of trying on the future. Women don't always have linear thoughts about feelings. Sometimes the body leads. Sometimes the hug happens, and only afterward does her mind start processing what it meant. But in that moment, if she let herself melt into you, even a little, you were witnessing the echo of something she might be imagining, whether she's ready to admit it or not. This is why some hugs feel off the charts, not in heat or intensity, but in resonance. They don't just feel good, they feel right. And that feeling, when shared, is the starting point of something bigger. So if you felt something in that hug, there's a real chance she did too. Not because she planned it, but because sometimes the hug is the one place where truth slips through before logic catches it.